All right, so we've been looking at our docs page in the Getting Started section. The next thing we're going to do after getting started is we're going to come down and I want to go to the layout section. So this doc section of their site is invaluable. Anything you want to know how to do, you're going to be able to find the documentation for it by looking in the proper section. They're probably going to have examples on their website of all the different things you might want to do. So if I want to know how to do nav bars, here's a whole bunch of different ways to do nav bars. I can click on this. I'm like, oh, I like this nav bar right here. It has a little drop down menu I can use. How do I do that? I can look in here and I can inspect the element. I can right click and I can go view the page source, and I can scroll down and find that section and see how they did it, copy that code and just put it in my page if I want to. So the Bootstrap website is invaluable when you don't know how to do something. It will tell you how to do it. Okay. So the first place I want to go to the layout. We're going to talk about layout first. In this video, I want to concentrate on breakpoints. I want to try and do this in small videos so they can be broken down. Probably no code in this video, but the idea of breakpoints is very important. They're customizable, although I'm going to tell you right up front, don't customize it at this point. Get to know this framework inside and out before you start trying to customize things. As far as breakpoints, you can customize your site a lot without ever changing these breakpoints. But the width determine how your responsive layout behaves across different devices or viewport sizes in Bootstrap. So here's some core concepts that are important to remember. Breakpoints are the building blocks of responsive design. They are used to control when your layout can be adapted for a particular size of screen. Media queries are used to architect your CSS using those breakpoints. Now that's all done for you. Okay, we don't need to really understand how all this stuff works exactly, but we need to understand that it's important. Media queries are a feature of CSS that allow us to conditionally apply styles based on some operating system parameters, like how wide your screen is, and that's the one that's usually used as the minimum width. And here's the big one that I think people get backwards a lot, and part of the reason they get it backwards is because Bootstrap, when it first came out, worked the opposite way. You created your website for a big screen, and then you told it how it should look on a smaller screen. And I think at Bootstrap from version 3 to version 4 is when it changed to a mobile first responsive design. So the goal of Bootstrap CSS is to apply the bare minimum of styles to make a layout work at the smallest breakpoint. So we're designing for a mobile phone. If we don't use any of the formatting things we're going to talk about, it's going to set it up basically for a mobile phone, for a very small, narrow width web page. Okay. But then we layer on styles to adjust our design for larger devices. So I see a lot of tutorials out on the internet that still want to teach Bootstrap the old way. Hey, here's a big page, and let's see what happens when we make it small, and we'll fix it when it's small, and we'll adjust. You're better off designing it for when it's small than saying, hey, this is what I want it to change when it gets up to this size. Okay, so don't think of it as a web page and we're making a small version. Think of a small version that we're going to adapt to a larger page. Mobile first, then wider screens. Okay, it optimizes the CSS, improves rendering time, and it gives us a great experience. So here's the only real important thing you need to know, because the breakpoints kind of work automatically, but you might want to know where they're set at. So we have different screen sizes that we will render our pages for. Starting with extra small. Extra small would be a small cell phone. And that's any phone or any device, I should not say phone, any device that's less than 576 pixels wide is considered an extra small screen. Okay. Then we see these little abbreviations here. SM stands for small. That's for any device that's over 576 pixels, up to medium size, which is 768 pixels. It becomes a large screen once it hits 992 pixels. It becomes extra large screen once it hits 1200 pixels. And brand new to this latest version of Bootstrap is extra large screens, which are ones that are more than 14,000 pixels, which are 1400 pixels, excuse me. So those are the breakpoints as they are built into Bootstrap. You don't need to adjust them really. This goes into more details on where all those things are kept and how you could adjust it and where all the different things you could customize if you want to. But at this point, all you need to know is these abbreviations: small, medium, large, extra large, and double XL, and that they each have a certain number of pixels. Once they hit that, we go into the large territory. Once it hits 1200 pixels, we're into extra large territory. So keep that in the back of your head as we go through these next videos.